Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. And here we are to discuss the potential Hall of Fame career of Aaron Ekblad. Now, for those of you who don't know, Aaron Ekblad was a two-way defenseman originally. I changed him to a defensive defenseman because we don't get plus fives with those, which ironically we still didn't get. But I digress. The point is, I did not get very good simulation results with him as a two-way defenseman, so I decided to change that, and he became a defensive defenseman. And with that, I believe he accepted a bit more of a, shall we say, silent role on the team. Instead of being this young puck mover, I guess you could call him, of a defenseman. Not necessarily an offensive defenseman, but not really but someone who could give you a solid point total. He went from being that to being uh, you know, a top line shutdown guy who is going to give you the right amount of physicality and defense played. And he was really an old time style defenseman, if you will. Um, but the thing about Aaron Ekblad is that plenty about him to be able to say, I guess you could say. Um, Obviously, he was here for all four of our Stanley Cup championships throughout our 8 years. He actually he does have the franchise lead in penalty minutes, which is kind of ironic because I don't know, I just think it's ironic because somebody that's just a defensive defenseman and is physical leads us in penalty minutes. It's not like, oh, we don't have Tom Wilson, we don't have Ryan Reeves, we just have Aaron Ekblad who logs a lot of minutes and is physical. Um, so he does actually lead the franchise in a stat. On top of that, he's always been an assistant or alternate captain. I'm again still not sure which one the A stands for. I've had my problems with that in the past, but on top of that, he was always a solid 40 to 50 point guy, which I don't think we really ever talked about. Like if you're a defenseman who's gonna be just a defensive defenseman, and you're gonna put up a bunch of penalty minutes, there's got to be a more positive side to that. And there was with Aaron Ekblad. 40 to 50 points was solid. In fact, I would argue that that's more than solid. That was exactly what Jake Bean was putting up, and Jake Bean was an offensive defenseman. So, Aaron Ekblad, a good all-around guy. Aside from one contract dispute that we had, he was a pretty good team player. Always wanted to resign. Again, aside from the one time, and always was a guy that I could rely on to be there. He's been a constant on this team. Obviously, he's one of the three core members that made up this I guess this nucleus of the team. Excuse me. And he was truly crucial to how this team was going to perform. And I would say I would go out as far as to say that Aaron Ekblad was just as important mm, as a Sam Reinhart, which I don't know how much you take that into account for, but I take that into account for quite a bit. Um, he the negatives for him is that he was never the headline grabber. He was never the he needed someone alongside him to put up points because once the year that we didn't have Yandel and that we didn't have Hughes, it was obvious to me that he wasn't going to put up many points. And again, that's not a slight against him. That's not what he does. He shuts down other people. Great PK guy, brilliant leader. Absolutely loved having him on the team. Almost always a team player. We had the one contract dispute, but I can't hold that against him too badly. We did get that figured out all in the end, so everything worked out just fine. And a four-time Stanley Cup champion. Another thing to take in with that, though, is that with this team, like if they were to continue on, which again was part of the way that I tried to make this, I guess you could say, I wanted to make it to where another GM could still take them to other glories, I guess you could say. Um, but my point with that being that Aaron Ekblad still could win a Norris Trophy. He could still win a Conn Smythe. He was very very close in a few of those, at least in my opinion. Not in the Norris as much as the Conn Smythe, but overall, the negatives are going to hurt him. I get that. But I think that there's just too much to argue that this elite level defensive defenseman, like, I think there's too much in his favor to say that he wasn't a Hall of Famer. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe for more. Let me know if you think Aaron Ekblad belongs in our Hall of Fame, and I will see you all in the next one to discuss our captain, Sasha Alexander Barkov. See you all then.